Oh, hello and welcome to Bit of Brit. My name's Phil and I live in the southwest of England, not far from the Roman city of Bath, or Bath if you actually live there because it's a bit posh. My goal is to introduce you to British towns you haven't already seen or you wouldn't think to visit, and to show you the British way of life. Now, a lot of people think us Brits all know the Queen personally, sit around all day drinking tea, eating cakes and watching cricket. Let me tell you now, once and for all, it's completely true. Apart from perhaps the Queen bit. Today, my friends, we're in the charming town of Bradford and Avon. There's many things that make Bradford and Avon special to me. Its undiscoveredness, if that's a word, the community spirit, the quirkiness, its ancient and modern history, and crucially, I'll be visiting some tea shops. Towards the end of this video, I'll have a stab at making giggles cake from a local recipe, which will be interesting because, believe me, I don't have a clue. So if I can do it, definitely anyone can. I'll provide the recipe for you to try yourself for a truly authentic taste of the area, but I'll tell you something, it goes lovely with a cup of tea. I'll also be talking about the folklore and daft things we get up to in this corner of the world. So let's get cracking. So, first off, let's have a look at one of the most important features of the town, the bridge. Originally, medieval Bradford only had a ford, and indeed that gave the original Saxon name to the town of Bradan Forda be Afni, which means broad ford over the river, Avon in this case, which got shortened to Bradford upon Avon, and we now know it as Bradford on Avon. Now, a ford, for those of you who don't know, I'm not talking about a maker car here, I'm talking about a place where the river's shallow and broad enough to allow horses and carts to cross. The problem was that often the river was impassable due to flooding, which happened a lot, and still happens occasionally, even nowadays, with a bridge. In the 1400s, the town bridge was built, more or less over the site of the ford, which allowed trade to continue pretty much all year round. The original structure was a single track affair, which catered for a decent sized wagon and horses, and was subsequently widened and lengthened in the 1700s. However, two of the original arches remain. Modern traffic takes its toll on the structure, but careful ongoing maintenance keeps it in tip-top condition. The odd little building or blind house attached to the side of the bridge was so called because they generally have no windows, although this one has, and it was used to hold prisoners whilst travelling on their way to the county assizes, or for local lawbreakers locked up overnight as punishment for drunken behaviour, etc. On top was a fish-shaped weather vane, the Bradford gudgeon, and prisoners were said to be below the fish but over the water. If you lived in Trowbridge a couple of hundred years ago, you might insult Bradfordians by calling them gudgeons, meaning drunks or wastrels. However, as nearby Trowbridge also has a blind house, which instead of a gudgeon has a knob on the top, Bradfordians call Trowbridge folk knobs, which I think is a far better insult. One unusual use of the bridge happens once a year, the annual Easter Monday duck race, and draws quite a crowd. It has a carnival atmosphere with musicians and various sideshows and attractions going on. It's so popular, it's always a sellout. I got some of the last remaining tickets 3 days before the event. I asked at the tourist information about duck sponsorship and getting tickets, and like some clandestine, slightly dodgy thing, I was told, "We've sold out, but if you try so and so at such and such shop, top secret, they may have some left. Tell them I sent you." I walked to said shop and announced my intention to buy some tickets, and the counter assistant views my brashness with a withering look, but nevertheless produces from below the counter a ledger where I have to add my contact details against the remaining duck numbers. So, I was now the proud owner of 2 duck race tickets. Hello.
How are you?
So, in anticipation of the duck race,
Yes.
we are sitting down here, having a nice cuppa, coffee in fact, which is unusual, and an apple juice. And we just can't wait for the duck race to start.
The duck race in Bristol. No, that's
So here we are at the jewel of Bradford and Avon's crown, the bridge tea rooms. On approaching the front, you noticed how crooked the building is, which is a testament to its considerable age. It's got a chocolate box look, and the sort of thing you would expect a film writer in Hollywood to imagine as the quintessential British tea shop, which of course it is, and it nicely nestles with the Victorian era of the Great British Empire. Let's go inside.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I can refresh your teapots whenever you want.
Super.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you. No day in this lovely town is complete without a visit here. It's been voted double winner of the UK Tea Guild's top tea place, and purportedly one of the finest spots for afternoon tea. Now Lorraine and I have drunk a lot of tea and eaten our fair share of cake at many tea rooms up and down the country. And I must say, I like the way a lot of tea rooms are waking up to the fact that their customers like to enjoy a proper cuppa served in proper bone china in an atmosphere of bygone days. This tea room, however, dates back to around 1502 and has probably served millions of customers with their scrumptious home-cooked fare. This, my friends, is the genuine article. Cheers. So, it's the age-old conundrum. Jam first, cream first. I'll find out. Well, it seems like it's possible to do it both ways. I don't think it'll taste any different because they both go down the same hatch, as it were. But a word of note is it's easier to put the cream on first, followed by the jam, because the jam sticks to the cream. But if you put the jam on first, the cream slides all around the place. So I reckon cream first. What do you reckon?
For me, it's jam first because I get more cream on top.
Ooh. This will take off the lighting out of the sun, which is nice. Well, the whole thing was supposed to last 10 minutes, but the more I got into Bradford and Avon, the more I realised what a fascinating place it is, full of interesting people, and I just couldn't do it justice by trying to ram it all into a 10-minute slot. So what I've decided to do is to do it in sort of episodes, so I'm looking at probably 3 at the moment. This is my very first foray into the thing called YouTube, and I've never been in front of a camera before, never shot video before, never edited video before, and what I would really like is for you to leave comments underneath as to what you didn't like, what you did like, but please be kind. Right, next to come is the Green Man celebrations. Don't know what that is? Well, you'll have to watch next time to find out. So what I suggest you do is subscribe and press the bell, therefore you get automatic updates. I'll be talking to people about stuff, I'll be visiting more tea shops, be doing some baking shenanigans in my kitchen. But before you go, there's a short blooper reel at the end, and I'd just like to say thanks for putting up with Lorraine and myself, and we hope to see you again soon. But in the meantime, cheers! Here goes nothing! And I'd just like to say thanks for putting up with Lorraine and myself, and we hope to see you again soon. In the meantime, cheers! Wow, I need a cup of tea. So, we really hope to... Believe me, I don't have a clue. So if anybody can do it, I can. What? Okay, this is the last one, because I want to move on to the other one.